Hello and welcome to the Birth of Her Smile Part 2. Now, in Part 1, we established that I was born in Rhodesia, a country that is now called Zimbabwe. I was a dancer. I was pretty successful as a child, achieved quite a lot of things. I immigrated to South Africa, where I started my own ballet school, and that's where I had my children. My husband and I and the two children immigrated to Australia in 2002. So this was the third country that I was moving to live in. I didn't know where home was anymore. I left the ballet industry because I always had my own ballet school and suddenly I was teaching for others and it made me very unhappy. And I decided not to open a ballet school and become competition to the people that I had been surrounded by. So I went back to an old qualification that my father had made me do in 1981. And I refreshed that qualification here in Canberra in 2005. And I started my own home beauty salon where I was just going to hide from the world and be safe. What happened next was that I got really, really busy. I was flat out 6 days a week, back to back. And it was really, really happy. It was a very happy place to be. I was at home. My children were at home. It was a good place for a mother to be. But then what we didn't know lay ahead was the GFC, the global financial crisis. That hit hard and it reduced my clientele from 100% to 30%. So I lost 70% of my business, which is what happened across the board to most businesses at that time in 2007, 2008. And it was very, very disappointing. And of course, I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a ballerina. So I'd always had a ballet school. I never advertised. Clients, people just brought their children to me because word of mouth. So suddenly now what do? I was absolutely devastated. I needed to learn business and I came to the conclusion that if I had three different kind of businesses that all worked in synergy to one another, then I would never ever be in this situation again. Now, none of us know what lies ahead. So I went ahead and decided, okay, well, what can I add to my business? Well, I'll go with what I know and what I think I know, and that is personal training. So I did my personal training qualification, and in doing so, I got my ballet body back and I felt really healthy and well. I realized that I had personally trained myself, and it was very, very exciting. And I just loved the way I looked and felt, and I just loved the way I looked and felt. And so I decided to take up bodybuilding. Well, I decided to do two things actually. And the one was to take up bodybuilding. So I took up bodybuilding and I then decided to compete. So I put myself back on stage for the first time in 32 years. And I flew to Melbourne to compete in a bodybuilding competition there. And I got on stage in front of 3,000 men and women in the skimpiest bikini known to man. So that was a very courageous thing to do. And wow, getting up on that stage in those high, high heels, which I don't normally wear, was frightening to say the least. And I was shaking from head to toe, but I had achieved what I had set out to do, and that was to cut my abs. Why? Because I had a plan, and the plan was that I was going to perform in musical theatre again for the first time in 35 years. So I had been in professional musical theatre at the age of 17, and now 35 years later, I had auditioned for a musical called Cabaret and managed to get in as a prostitute. Now, my daughter and her fiance also auditioned. She got in, as I will very proudly say, as the lead prostitute, and her husband or her fiance then got in as the German. But anyway, I got in as a prostitute, and I had been a ballet teacher in Canberra for many years. So I knew that all the little ballet students were going to be coming to watch Miss Adele on the stage. So I wanted to make sure that I looked beautiful in the negligee that I was going to have to wear because my abs would be revealed and I didn't want to have a flabby tummy. So I got on stage. There I am on the left, first time back in musical theatre. It was very exciting for me. It took so much courage to get out back on the stage that night on opening night. And also the other added angst was that my 19-year-old son and his girlfriend were sitting right in the middle in the front. And the poor boy, he's never ever mentioned what he saw that night. He must be scarred for life. But I have to say that I had the time of my life, and apparently I was the talk of the town. And there I was very proud of my abs, and I felt very, very comfortable. In fact, I was so comfortable, I decided to continue bodybuilding, and I competed down the South Coast, and I managed to win in my category. And of course, can you imagine how good this was for my confidence? It was such an exciting thing to happen, and I was very excited about my achievement there, and I was now, because of my success, my clients were starting, my current beauty clients and other friends and people we knew, people who heard about it, started to come to me for personal training. So this was now the second part of a business that I decided that I was going to create to be GFC proof. And so I started to grow that side of my business. I also continued to do musical theatre. I auditioned for more musical theatre productions. I got into Anything Goes. And by doing that, I got a section in it where I was right in the middle and the front, and I was tapping, and it was so much fun to get my tap shoes back on again. And then, of course, it was over here. I was just so proud of my muscles in this outfit that I'm wearing, because I was still keeping up with the bodybuilding, and it was going very, very well. And it was very, very exciting. Now, if we go back to this image here, where I won in my category down the South Coast, what I discovered was that it qualified me to go to the World Championships in Dubai. Now, in Dubai, as you know, the women are covered from head to toe, and so the International Natural Bodybuilding Association had to get special permission to allow the women to go up in the skimpiest bikinis, as you see, which they did. So it was the first time in history that this was ever done in Dubai, and I was part of that history. It was very exciting, but to my big surprise, I managed to win 2 silver medals for Australia. And what this did for me was it made me come home as an Australian. I finally felt where home was. I felt that I could call Australia home. And this was very, very, very important to me. Again, rebuilding who I was, making me stronger, and also very good for business. As you can imagine, this then, of course, clinched the personal training side of the business and the exercise. And so that's what I did. Oh, and I was also seen, and I was published in a magazine for my achievements. And of course, that was fabulous as well. So I was really enjoying the rebuilding of Adele. Okay, so but how was I doing with rebuilding the business? So I started outdoor fitness. I love this image with the smile and my ladies. I was protecting myself, trying to protect myself from any further global financial crises, not knowing what lay ahead. So now, what were the services that I was offering? I now was offering personal training, one-on-one. I was offering body sculpting and weight loss and healthy waistlines, and I was offering ladies group indoor and outdoor classes. As you know, I was working my skills and had been now for a number of years with the nails, manicures, pedicures, skincare. I was becoming a real professional at, very, very sought after for my skills. Eyelash extensions, waxing and tinting, massage, and I wanted to grow and increase my makeup side of the business, develop my makeup side of the business. And so I went back to education. I updated my makeup qualifications by doing some courses with the renowned makeup artist Donna May. She's been around forever and a day, and she is Hollywood's top makeup artist, working with all the celebrities and all her training with all the best that there was many years ago. And so she is very generous with passing on her skills. And then the local Australian whiz when it comes to makeup is Lizzie Sharp. She has worked on The Incredible Hulk. the full feature movie. She's absolutely incredible. What this woman has, her creativity is through the roof. Her skills with those hands is absolutely phenomenal. And I learned so much from her. Will be forever grateful to these women, what they taught me. So what was I going to do with this? Well, I heard about Fash Fest, Canberra's fashion festival. So I applied as a makeup artist and got in. And so I worked backstage with the runway and prepared the models for the catwalk in 2015 and 16. I also managed to get published for work I had done. So that was very good for me. And what this did was it qualified me for something that I had been hearing about and desperately wanted to be part of, because my husband and I have been watching the Formula One Grand Prix for 38 years, and because that's how long we've been married. And suddenly the Formula One Grand Prix was on. Well, it hasn't suddenly, it's always had the Amber Lounge event, but I heard about it. And so the Amber Lounge event was created by Prince Albert of Monaco, and he, in 3 of the events around the world, he has this Amber Lounge where the drivers walk the runway for charity, and he selects the charity every year. So the one that I applied for and got into first was Singapore. So I flew to Singapore to the Formula One Grand Prix, where I did makeup on the models that walk the runway. The drivers walk the runway, um, obviously, but models do as well. And the best, or style, the best garments that are created by the top designers of the country, the models walk there and wear their garments. Sorry, I don't know why I struggled to get that out, but anyway. And so I was doing makeup on the models that were walking the top stylists of the country, the top fashion designers of the country. I was doing the makeup for the models that walked the runway, and there were so many fantastic experiences and opportunities here. The exciting thing was that Global Hair and Makeup liked what I did and offered me Mexico. So 6 weeks later, I flew to Mexico and did the makeup for the models there as well. So I was working my skills, getting experience, getting and gaining confidence with the makeup, the personal training, the style, the exercising, the beauty side of the business. And then I applied for the big one, and that was for Monaco. I wanted to be a makeup artist at the Monaco Grand Prix Amber Lounge event, and I managed to get in as the senior makeup artist. I was offered senior makeup artist, and I ended up doing the celebrities and the VIP makeup as well. So here I am doing makeup for Lady Victoria Harvey. She was also the designer of the bikini wear that was modeled in Monaco. Here I did the makeup for Sky News reporter Natalie Pinkham. She, as you know, gets into the pits and interviews the drivers, and she's been doing this for many years. But it was really exciting for me because when I had finished doing her makeup and she was ready, she took my hand and she said, "Stay with me right up until I step on the stage," because she was the host for the whole Amber Lounge event. And she wanted me right by her side to make sure that I stayed the way I had made her look, which was the hugest compliment to me. And of course, again, just building confidence, making me feel amazing and that I can help others the way I do. And so here I am at the end of part 2. I'm building myself to be GFC proof. I'm not knowing, of course, what lies ahead. And I just want to thank you for listening and for being part of what I've shared with you tonight. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day and evening. And part 3 will be next week. So tune in for part 3 next week.